Somewhere in a locker room right now, there's a soccer ball sitting on a charger, not a phone, not a speaker, a ball. If it runs out of battery, it legally cannot be used in the match. That sounds made up. It's not. And it gets stranger from there. Every single World Cup since 1970, FIFA and Adidas have quietly swapped out the ball everyone on Earth is about to watch for 4 straight weeks, and almost nobody watching ever asks why. By the end of this video, you'll know why that ball keeps changing, what's physically hiding inside the one being used right now, and why one version of it was hated so badly that players nicknamed it after a horror movie. Let's go back to where this all started. Mexico. Before that year, World Cup balls were just plain brown leather, different in every country, sometimes even different from stadium to stadium. Then Adidas showed up with something nobody had seen before, a ball covered in black pentagons and white hexagons. 32 panels, only 20 of them were made for the entire tournament. Here's the twist. That pattern wasn't designed to look cool. 1970 was the first World Cup ever broadcast on live television, and most viewers were still watching in black and white. A plain leather ball basically disappeared on those old screens, so Adidas built a ball specifically to stand out on a television that couldn't even show color. That ball was called the and it worked so well, it accidentally became the default picture in your head when someone says soccer ball. Ask anyone, even someone who's never watched a single match, to draw one, and they'll draw this exact pattern. A fix for a 1970s TV problem is still the mental image of the entire sport. 55 years later, and every ball since then, all the way to this year, has come from that same company. Adidas has supplied every official World Cup ball for over 50 straight years. No other brand has ever gotten the job. That black and white design stuck around for almost a decade. Then, in 1978, Adidas introduced a new pattern called the Tango white circles, built out of little black triads. It was such a good design that it barely changed for the next 20 years, across 5 separate World Cups. Compare that to now, where a completely new ball with new technology shows up every single time. The pace of change has basically sped up 10 times over. So if the first ones worked that well, why keep messing with it? 2 reasons. One is money. A new design means new merchandise every 4 years, worldwide. The other is performance. Engineers try to make each new ball rounder, more accurate, more predictable to strike, which sounds great. Until, in 2010, it spectacularly backfired. That year, in South Africa, Adidas released a ball called the Jabulani, just 8 panels, the fewest ever used, engineered to be the roundest, most perfect ball in World Cup history. Adidas had even tested it in real professional tournaments beforehand. It didn't matter. Goalkeepers hated it on site. Spain's keeper called it a beach ball. Italy's legendary keeper called it shameful. Even Lionel Messi said it was a nightmare for attackers. Turns out the ball was so light and so smooth that it would knuckle and dip in the air. Completely unpredictably, even the player kicking it had no idea which way it would swerve. Fans started calling it the Jumanji ball, after the movie where nothing behaves the way it's supposed to. Lesson learned: rounder isn't always better. A ball can be too perfect for its own good. 4 years later, Adidas tried something completely different. The 2014 ball, the Brazuca, was the first World Cup ball ever named by public vote. Over 1 million Brazilians helped pick it. It was also the first ball in history to get its own Twitter account, a soccer ball, with followers. But the real turning point came in 2022. That's when these balls stopped being just balls and quietly became sensors. Hidden inside the current design is a chip that tracks the exact moment of contact, the speed, the spin, and the direction 500 times every single second. That data streams straight to the officials reviewing offside and handball calls in real time. It's a massive reason controversial goal decisions now get resolved in under a minute instead of 5. And yes, that's exactly why the ball needs charging. It only holds enough power for about 6 hours. Just enough for warm-ups and a full match, and not one extra minute. This year's version has a name too, Trion. It means 3 waves, a nod to the 3 countries hosting this World Cup together for the first time ever. Each of its 4 panels is colored for a different host nation, and before anyone agreed it was ready, it was test-kicked across all 16 host cities, from freezing rain in Vancouver to the thin mountain air of Mexico City. Because a ball that flies perfectly at sea level doesn't necessarily fly the same way a mile above it. And this isn't cheap technology. Either the professional version of this exact ball retails for well over $150 for one ball, so next time you're watching and someone scores from 30 yards out, or a goalkeeper gets embarrassed by a shot that swerves out of nowhere at the last second, that's not just a player having a good or bad night. That's a piece of engineering that was redesigned from scratch, being tested live for the first time, in front of 1 billion people. Every World Cup ball since 1970 has been rebuilt for a reason, sometimes to be seen better on an old TV, sometimes to be tracked by a computer in real time, and at least once, completely by accident, to become nearly impossible to control. The players change, the teams change, even the rules quietly change every few years. But almost nobody stops to think about the one object that gets touched more than anything else on that field, changing right along with them. Right under 1 billion pairs of eyes that never notice it happened. If a single piece of equipment can shape an entire World Cup like that, imagine how much else about this sport you've been watching without actually understanding. Subscribe. That's exactly what this channel exists to uncover.